I see people every single day, doctor such and such and psychiatrist such and such. I look at clips and I be like,
Welcome to Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. I'm very excited for our next guest, Marcus Black. Welcome to Too Personal.
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
He is, well, we already talked about this off camera, but kind of from Chicago, kind of from all over, built a career in music, big names, The Game, DJ Mustard, Justin Bieber, who just had a fabulous Coachella. Also on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. World watched you navigate your relationship, and now you are a relationship expert, author, speaker, podcast host, and happily married to Brooke Valentine.
Yeah.
So welcome to Too Personal.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. You're also friends in the family. We have lots of
for sure. It's crazy listening back to all those things. I'll be like, yo, like I kind of have my hands on a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? It's like how you go from music to relation is interesting.
Well, that's like, that's part of the journey. That's how things evolve. I mean, I'm going through a bit of an evolving period, a shift myself. I mean, I had worked in sports, still work in sports, but worked primarily in sports for my entire career,
right,
and started the podcast to be able to share, opinions and conversations that I've always had with people close to me and my friends. And, you learn new things. What's the biggest thing that you've learned since starting to discuss relationships publicly?
I mean, one, how people view reality TV. You know what I mean? People think reality TV is reality. You know what I mean? So,
well, it is in the name.
Yeah, but
so do you feel like that's deceptive?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is because I think reality TV is like, based on a true story. It should be called like based on a real story. You know what I'm saying? But not exactly. You know what I mean? And then people don't forget, right? So you got, I was walking through the airport, walking through LAX with Brooke, and this lady is doing security at TSA. She like, Marcus, I don't like how you did, Brooke, 10 years ago. And Brooke, should I let him through? I'm not even gonna let him through here. I'm like, yo, yeah, this is from 2016.
But yeah, I mean, that's the risk when you put not just yourself, but your relationship on national television.
But you fail to realize that, or it never even crosses your mind that when you're doing these things, like sometimes people haven't seen you since then. People they're not following, they don't know what's going on. So like, there's people who come up to me and they deal with me like who I was 10 years ago, and it's like, man.
Well, for them, that is you.
That's the reality.
Unless they've followed your journey since then, that
Absolutely.
is their lasting impression of you. When stuff like that happens, does that still affect your relationship?
No, it's never affected my relationship.
It's never affected your relationship?
Public opinion?
Well, no, just like if someone makes a comment like that.
No.
But you would understand how someone, and I'm not questioning your relationship, obviously, but hearing that, I'm like, man, if I was having a bad day with my man and somebody brought up some old shit,
nah.
It would take some strong resolve not to allow that to ruin the rest of the day.
No, it doesn't bother me at all because I know what I signed up for, right? Like,
Does it bother her?
Nah, it doesn't bother her because we knew what we were doing, and it's like we actually we were good at home. When you're good at home, kind of doesn't really matter what's going on outside. You know what I'm saying? So I know what actually goes on. I know who my wife actually is. She knows who I am for real. So it's like,
So that was to you, to both of you. That was, even though it was a real thing that happened, to them, to the rest of the world, it's almost like characters. Because like you said, reality TV isn't really reality.
Right.
So then what's the thing that people don't, what's the thing that you feel like you wish people knew that they don't, because their impression of you is that moment on reality television?
I just think that, man, I think people don't consider, right, that we pull up to set and there's cameras and there's lights and there's producers and somebody says, okay, action. Go, like, this is entertainment. We're here to entertain. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain people, Safari, for example, man, like, I remember this one scene we did when I was on Love and Hip Hop Miami, and he just breaks down, it just wild. It's like, bro, you should get an Oscar, bro. Like, this is high level, acting that you're doing. You know what I mean? And I think people, when they see people get like very extreme, they be like, this can't be real. You hear people say that all the time. But then there's certain things they'll pick and choose. They'll be like, oh, this must be real right here. Like, I don't like you because you do stuff like this. And it's like, you take it. It's cool.
But you don't regret it.
No.
So what was happening internally during that process then? Because you are in front of a camera. It is a bit like acting. It's entertainment at the end of the day. But to the rest of the world, they're watching you. They're not watching a scripted series. They're not watching Succession. They're not watching Interstellar. They're watching you, Marcus, with your partner.
Yeah.
And to them, you're misbehaving.
Yeah.
How did that feel internally?
So I tell you, I put it like this, right? I remember my very first season on Love and Hip Hop, right? So let's just say this is 2016, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And I was like, I had been looking at Love and Hip Hop Hollywood like from time to time since like I remember 2014, back when like Hitmaker was on it and everything. And I'm just like, I guess because I came up in the business, I knew this. I'm like, this is entertaining because I'm like, this is not real, right? So I looked at it from that angle. So I got on here, and my first season, I was participating in it, just kind of being like, I would allow certain things to happen that I wouldn't allow in real life, or I may say something that I wouldn't typically say. It's entertainment. I was like, having fun, right? And I remember Snoop Dogg made a post about me one day, and he was like, man, this nigga, I don't even remember what he said, but I was like, yo, this Snoop Doggy Dogg. I'm like the biggest Snoop fan in the world. Like, this nigga just made a post to 1 billion people talking crazy about me. And I just was like, oh, y'all believe this shit. Like, everyone believes it. I'm like, Snoop, I thought you would, you of all people, I would think that you would know that this is like shenanigans, right? Because you're in the business. But nah, he's invested. It's not like they're paying Snoop to comment. He's like, he was in. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So when I come back the next season, I'm not saying nothing I wouldn't say. I'm not doing nothing I wouldn't really do. I'm not participating in nothing I wouldn't really participate in. So if I'm in a scene and they like, Marcus, you're here. All right, well, what would you do in the scenario? I'd probably lead the scenario. So I get up and I walk out the scene. Because that's what I would really do. I actually wouldn't be here.
This is why I could never do reality television. First of all, I'd be the #1 most hated bitch in the fucking Americas. North, Central, South. Yeah. I'd be like, get this bitch off my TV. I'm not participating in any of this.
You'd have been a hit.
You know what? People say that, but I don't know. And I don't do the whole like, the problem is I would not be able to slice the cut of, is this, even if I know they're acting or they're playing it up, the drama part, because I'm just too violent. So it just wouldn't be a good choice for me. I like my freedom.
I hear you.
So you pivoted to relationships, talking about relationships. Why are you passionate about talking about relationships?
That's a good question. So I think all of our lives are so impacted by relationships, right?
Yeah.
So for myself, right, both my parents were married my whole life, and then they divorced when we got older. So I was there for that. I saw that. I've been married before, and then I was divorced. I have a child from my previous marriage, right? So it meant the world to me to try to figure this whole relationship thing out. And not just relationships as far as romantic relationships, but interpersonal relationships, right? I wanted to really put my finger on how this works. You know what I mean? How because we're not taught this thing. Like men are not taught how to be husbands. You know what I'm saying? Women aren't taught how to be wives. You know what I mean? We're not taught how to be like, what does a good parent look like? We kind of just shadow what we saw, right? So I kind of wanted to figure it out. Especially I think having a daughter changes everything, right? You want to know how to be the best father and how to be a certain man, because children follow. They learn more from what they see than what you tell them, right? So I wanted to become somebody that my children and my home and my community could look to and could be a value. Like when you look at the world, it's like, okay, the world is all messed up. How do we fix this? Okay, well, we got to start with our community, right? Okay, well, how do you impact your community? All right, well, we're probably gonna have to fix the family dynamic. How do we fix the family dynamic? Well, we're gonna have to fix this dynamic between men and women, and then you reduce that to, okay, well, this starts with doing the self work, which is what I did.
Was there a particular moment or trauma or incident that really made you feel like, wow, this is something I'm really passionate about?
I can't say it was a moment. I think everybody has burdens, right? I think God gives us all burdens, like something that He places on you that just really bothers you. And that's, I say this all the time. When God created us, He created a solution to a problem, right? So whatever burden is on Joy, it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to be working on. You know what I mean? And it's just the burden that was placed on me, and then my life began to mirror it, right? Because God's gonna make sure that you get the, OJT, like the on the job training through life, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get the experience that you need, you know what I mean, to be able to help people effectively.
Now, when you first started this, there were probably some people who questioned your credibility or
Yeah, of course, all the time.
intentions.
Marcus, you cheated on Brooke. Who are you to come out here and talk
Well,
about?
let's get to it. Do you think that those mistakes or those experiences actually help you, or shifted you, or how do you? What's your response to someone who says that?
I mean, I think that's what makes me qualified.
Okay.
Right? I think my experiences make me qualified. I think that largely, like, if I use Oprah for example, I think she's like American icon. She's incredible. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Oprah and get some amazing advice about all type of things. One area where she could not give me any advice, and I kind of would be skeptical for her even attempting, is if she tried to give me parenting advice. Why? Well, because you don't have any children. So you're actually not qualified to give me detailed. You can give me like surface. You can give me your opinion from the outside looking in, but you can't really tell me how to do something that you've never done. You know what I mean? So when you talk about marriage, I'm qualified to talk about it. I've been married twice. When you talk about divorce, I've gone through divorce. I can tell you how to navigate through that. When you talk about how draining or what's the word I'm looking for? Traumatic, you know what I mean? Infidelity is, and how to restore your relationship after those things. You know what I mean? I'm qualified to talk about these things because I experienced it. So for me, I don't know why anybody would want to get advice from somebody who hasn't experienced it. I see people every single day, doctor such and such, and psychiatrist such and such, and I'd be like, I look at clips and I'd be like, what are you talking about? That's not true. And I can tell that you've never applied the information that you just gave, because you would know that doesn't. It's far more layered than what you just presented.
Well, the internet is a ridiculous place. I say this as we are clearly on the internet, but nuance is not something that is bounced around very much on the internet. It's actually what we try to do here, because as a person, I am very black and white. Like, I am a very polarized person in my opinions and my thoughts, but I love new information. I don't always love how I get the new information, but I do. I have the ability to move off of an opinion when I get new information. The internet is not for that. And I think a lot of the conversations that are had around relationships on the internet are, like the internet does, puts things in one particular category. You are this. This person is this. This statement means this. And there's 60-second clips, or not very long clips at that. So you have to really watch the whole thing and get the nuance of everything. And as we know, life is very nuanced. My question for you about like your philosophy on relationships, because I tend to agree with you. I think that in some ways, like I think that you can get advice from people and you can do it with what it is, because Oprah was a child, So she has the experience of being a child. So maybe she's giving you advice as someone who was at one point a daughter, who was at one point a child. And that was her experience. And she might say, as a parent, I would not do this with my child, and I don't think you should do this with your child, because as a child, this is what harmed me, or this is what would have helped me. So I just think it's really like how you point the advice that you give. So what is your philosophy? What is your core philosophy on relationships? This is a good place to plug Bulletproof Love if you'd like to.
No, it's an amazing thing. I thought you never asked. So my book, Bulletproof Love, right? I'm teaching people how to bulletproof your relationship, right? How to, which is really build a durable relationship that can survive the, all the shenanigans that life's gonna throw at it. You know what I mean? Everybody you love is gonna hurt you, right? Everybody that you love is gonna offend you, right? Life is always gonna life. So it's like, how do we recover from these things, right? So I have the love laws, right, which is part of the framework. But then we go in there and I'm breaking down everything from childhood trauma, right, to breaking generational curses, breaking generational patterns. You know what I mean? I have a chapter called The Disney Effect, which talks about the impact that, the world and TV and Disney has had on us since children and our expectations. You know what I mean? So, the love laws, you have the law of priority, the law of partnership, and the law of pursuit, right? So when you talk about marriage, when I'm talking about relationships, I can talk about everything, but I'm really talking about from a marriage standpoint, because marriage actually works a certain way, right? And I actually saw a clip of you the other day. Did you say you didn't want to be married? Oh no! I don't want to misquote you.
No. You're not offending me.
Okay.
I like, yeah, it would be it would be the first one. I have been married also.
I heard that.
I've been engaged. I was engaged after being married. And I was in a relationship with my ex-husband for a pretty long time before we got married. I don't aspire to be a wife. It's not like when I'm dating or I'm in a relationship, my like end goal isn't to get married. My goal is to be in a fulfilled, happy, safe relationship. If it ends up with us getting married, I'm all for that. I'm not against getting married, but I don't go into a situation looking for a husband. I've had a different, I don't want to say a different, I don't like using words like that. My experience has led me to a place where I am very content and very happy in my life the way that it is. Being married is not going to change my level of happiness based on my experiences with marriage. But I also don't want children. So if I wanted children, I would have a completely different philosophy on this.
But even, outside of children, what does marriage look like to you, right?
Marriage to me is a partnership in every sense of the word. I think it's much more of a business partnership than we talk about. Like you mentioned earlier, we don't really have full conversations about what marriage means. And I would agree with that. I didn't consult elders when I got married. My parents were divorced. I had great relationships in my proximity, great marriages. In my proximity, I should have talked to them more about what it is I'm getting into. I would have signed a prenup. Not that it really mattered, but I just don't think, my experience with contracts at this point in my life, I'm not taking the default contract from the government.
Fair enough.
There's just a lot of things that I think people ignore when it comes to marriage. And I think Instagram also, and just the whole social media environment around marriages, it's like the wedding is the point and not the relationship. And relationships are so nuanced, and there's people bring different stuff to the table, and the person you marry at this end of your life is not going to be the same person in 20 years. You guys may change desires, you might change careers, you might fall in money problems, you might deal with health issues, you might, God forbid, have a child die. Like there's so many different things that can happen to people that we don't see, and nothing can really prepare you for the experience of marriage, no matter how much advice you get.
So do you not desire a partnership?
No, I love a partnership. I'm better in a partnership. I enjoy being in a partnership. I just don't care. I don't care about being married.
Because I think we may be having calling it different things because a marriage.
Well, like legally.
Oh, so you just don't care for the paperwork.
No, I would sign the paperwork, but here's the thing. Having gone through the experiences I've gone through, which were not all bad, we're dying together. Period.
Well,
if I get married to someone at this point, being someone, the reason I say if I wanted kids, it would be differently because there's not a scenario on this planet that I would have a child with someone I'm not married to, and since I don't want children, the relationship is more important than the legal paperwork to me.
Sure, but the relationship is a marriage, though, right? Like,
well, not in the eyes of the government.
Well, actually, yeah, for the most part, right? And
if you live together long enough,
bingo, right? Because they have.
So that's why you got to keep you in place.
Okay, because for the longest time, they've changed it more recently. They still have some common law marriage states, but like if you live together more than once 5-6 years,
yeah,
they're like, oh, you guys are trying to get over on this. Like you guys are actually married,
yeah,
right? Because a marriage certificate is not what makes you married. A marriage certificate is proof of your decision to be married. So
unless you want to get divorced, as you know.
Well.
But I will say, I've had breakups that were significantly worse than my divorce. To your point about being in legal stuff with someone. So I'm trying to decide where to take this. So you've been through some pretty public things when it comes to relationships. You've had people kind of question.
Kinda.
Well, I mean, you were on a show and relationship, right. and you had infidelity, which is something
But a lot of those things don't feel like, it doesn't always feel like I went through such public things with my relationship because they weren't true, right? So in my mind, it's like, well, that wasn't real.
What part wasn't real?
Most of it wasn't real.
But what specific part wasn't real? Huh? Come on now. We on too personal.
A lot of it wasn't real.
Okay.
More.
Fine, let me ask a more specific question. I'm gonna get my lawyer on.
No, you're good.
When you say that, there's an incident that comes to your mind that you feel people think is real that isn't. What is that?
You know what? I think I'm so cool with it. Like I don't want to kill I don't want to ruin the fantasy for them, right? It's like y'all believed it this long, y'all might as well go ahead and go crazy, have a ball. But like most of it is not true. Like the stuff that happened in my relationship in real life, it never made it to camera.
Okay, but there were things that did make it to camera.
There were some things that made it to camera. There were some things that made it to camera.
There were some things that made it to camera. Yeah. And listen, I feel you. Like I'm on this side of the camera.
Is this a safe place, Joy?
Of course, it's a safe place. The internet is not a safe place, but this is a safe place.
Right.
I'm not in no way trying to set you up.
All right.
We're talking about relationships, and you talk about relationships.
I talk about relationships.
And well, let me ask you this. Let's give you a little breather on that. We'll return. Do you think that your relation? Well, do you intend for your relationship advice to meet women or men or both?
Both.
Do you think you speak specifically to men?
I speak to both.
What do you so what do you think is the issue that men are dealing with most? Like what is the biggest struggle for men in relationships right now in the year of our Lord 2026?
Lack of safety, lack of emotional safety, lack of understanding.
You think that men feel misunderstood?
Misunderstood and just not safe.
It's not safe in what way? Emotionally?
Emotionally safe, right. Largely, most women, their feelings are their facts. How most women feel,
okay,
it's a fact to them. It's their truths, right? And most women will deal with you based off of how they feel, right? And there's no safety in that, right? Because we feel different every single day. And once we make a commitment to one another, if you're just going to pull out of the commitment because you no longer feel like this, then why would I even enter the commitment?
So should women be approaching relationships from a more rational perspective?
100%. I think it should be purpose based. What are you getting? Nobody should be getting in a relationship because they're lonely or because they're bored. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
I
should
agree
go
with
find you
that.
some business. You could maybe. I can't imagine you ever getting into a relationship because out of boredom, right? You're busy, very busy.
Yeah, I'm not very bored very often.
Right? So I think a lot of times people get in relationships for the wrong reasons, but what's the purpose of the relationship? What does that person have that, and you look at the gifts that you have that God has given you, and you're like, okay, our gifts match, our purpose match. This is a line here. I can help you with this. You can help me with this. You know what I mean? There has to be some type of purpose there, right?
So, but when you say men don't feel safe, they don't feel safe to express their emotions with women. They don't feel safe to express their
Right.
vulnerabilities with women.
Everything, right? So for one, right, I want to say 75% of divorces are initiated by women,
hmm
right? A woman will wake up one day, feel like this, and just make a
Okay, now Marcus,
yeah.
they're not getting divorced because they woke up cranky. But
We're not talking about
there's a
cranky.
buildup of a lot. Like I'll say from my perspective,
Mhm.
I will make an absolute decision
Mhm.
and be resolute in that decision.
Mhm.
But the journey to that decision was riddled with opportunity, with conversations, with tears, with
Mhm.
pleas.
Mhm.
I have been built up to this decision. So yes, my decision may be based on my feelings,
Mhm.
but my feelings that this was going to be the outcome if this behavior or this circumstance didn't change
Mhm.
did not happen. Like, and I would
Right.
argue on behalf of most women that is the case.
Sure. I mean, but my thing is this, right? Going back to marriage, when we get married, when we say for better or for worse, in sickness and in health,
Mm-hmm.
right? For rich or for poor,
Yes.
when we give these vows, right? Because people love to create their own narratives that they didn't say at the wedding or when that are based off of vows that they didn't give.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People be blowing up relationships and you vow to stand. You know what I mean? But it's like, what is irreconcilable differences? What does that mean? You're married.
Well, okay. Let's roll back a couple points. Where I do think we agree is that most people, myself included, do not really take the time to think about what a marriage commitment is.
Sure. Me also.
Yeah.
Right.
And because of that, the irreconcilable differences, the breaking of the vows, those type of things, for better or worse, all that stuff goes out the window because you're in the situation and you're like, wait a minute, fuck what I said on that altar. I'm not living my life this way. Like, I have a finite time on this earth and this is not how I'm going to spend it. And I've tried to fix it and I've tried to do this and this is not changing. This is how I feel. I'm exiting this situation. And had the gravity of the commitment been more clear at the beginning, maybe we wouldn't get to that point.
That's a biggie.
My question for you is, what is the line for worse? Like, how far do we go here? Are we talking about abuse? Are we talking about substance abuse? Are we talking about neglect? Are we talking about you've gambled away all of our family's money? Are we talking about you're not being a good father to your children? Are we talking about infidelity? Because all of these things can pop amongst a myriad of other things that both people can do. But for the sake of this, I'm being a woman, you being a man, let's talk about the men. What points is it no longer about that commitment that we've said we're going to do this for life, and there's a choice that has to be made about that person's life? Because that to me, I agree. There are chapters you're going to go through in relationships, but there does, and some of them might be very dark. But there does come a point where it's a choice between darkness or forever, and in a lot of very extreme cases, you can be playing with your life.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, like, I just think people need to get when they get into relationships, they need to draw that out. Like when you in the dating stage, right? This is what means something to me. this doesn't mean anything to me. Most people get in relationships and just be like, well, I just feel like you should understand, or I just feel like you should know that. You should know that already.
Yeah, I expect someone to read my mind.
Yeah, and it's like, how would I know what we never discussed?
I'm not joking. I know it's a flaw. It's all right. We discuss it. I've accepted it's about myself. No, I don't hold it against people when they can't read. I do hold it against them when they can't read my mind. But I don't get mad because you can't read my mind. That's not true. I do get mad. But then I forgive because they can't read my mind.
Then you leave them for not being able to read their mind?
No, of course not. Of course not. No, I'm not that much of a psychopath. But no, you're saying in a dating stage, you should say,
it should be clear.
If you gamble our money away, I'm going to leave you.
You should say that.
We got to cover all the dark pages.
Every single one, right? Like, so for me, I get my my foundation is scripture, right?
Okay.
So I go by the Bible. And I say this all the time, right? Like, even, let's say we don't believe in the same God, right? Fine. Everybody doesn't believe in the God I believe in, right? The Bible is still like one of the greatest books of wisdom ever. So even if you just read it from that perspective, right? Because there's nothing new under the sun, right? Relationships has been going on forever. Divorce has happened forever. Infidelity has happened forever. Everything that you can possibly go through in your life, somebody went through it already, right? And so you'd be crazy to think that you're going into a relationship and you're creating rules that have never been. This has been going on. So we can go look and we like, oh, this worked like this, or no, that's not gonna work. History says that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So for me, I just think it really comes down to setting hard boundaries, setting hard standards, saying like, look, this is what I'm open to. This is not what I'm open to. This is what I'll leave you for. For me, I can tell you what I'll leave my wife for. Like, for sure, is if she is intentionally trying to put me in harm's way.
Okay.
Intentionally.
In any way.
In any way. It has to be intentional, though.
And you will determine whether it's a mistake or it's intentional.
Yeah.
Based on the nature of the situation.
100%.
Yeah. What would she leave you for?
I can't tell you. Probably along the lines of the same thing. You know, I judge the heart. You know what I mean? Like, where's your heart at? You know what I mean? People make mistakes. Where's your heart at? What was your intent? Like, what was your heart at? Like, that matters to me.
I think assuming good intent is something that is a principle of relationships that can apply across the board. Mm-hmm. For the sake of this conversation in relationships, a conversation that I had not too long ago was just about that, like assuming good intent. And I got pissed because I was like, why the fuck would you even think that that's what it would be? I'm not disrespectful. Mm-hmm. I'm not da-da-da. Mm-hmm. You should assume that I am here with good intentions. Mm-hmm. But you have to learn someone to know what their intentions are. But but in a marriage, you know this person.
Yeah, I would hope so.
You've committed to this person.
Yeah.
So if they make a mistake, you automatically assume, or they do something that may harm you or put you in harm's way, you're going to assume at least the first time that this was not intentional.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know your person. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody gave me a list of things that my wife did, I can go down them and be like, she did this. Yep, she for sure said that. She doesn't say that. She would never. She doesn't talk like that. She doesn't even think like this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I can go through this. And this goes for any of my friends. Anybody that I'm in relationship with, whether romantic, business, or personal. I don't enter a relationship without knowing somebody. I don't choose somebody without knowing somebody, right? Like, love is a decision, right? And like, I don't even like saying in love. I like, it's more like in knowledge of, right? Because in order for me to love you, I have to know who you are, and I have to choose to accept everything about you, right? That I have to choose to accept what I know, right? So it's like, okay, I watch, I pay attention, I go through things with you. Okay, this is who this person is. Now I have to ask myself, can I accept that? And if the answer is yes, okay, we're good. And if the answer is no, you should probably not spend no time trying to change the person. You should probably abort mission before you go any further. But once you accept the person, okay, so you know who the person is. So, you know, I think it's cruel to fault people or, fault people for failing in areas where you know they weak, right? Like, for example, like if Shaq misses a free throw, we not gonna beat up Shaq for missing free throws. Like Shaq doesn't make free throws. That's not what he does. If I see Shaq on the 3-point, you know what I'm saying, like and he missed a 3 in practice, like, I'm not gonna make fun. Oh, you missed a 3. You don't. We know what Shaq does. Diesel gets to the paint. Diesel time. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to look at people and look at what their weaknesses, and you have to ask yourself if you can accept that.
Yeah, I mean, accepting the whole of a person is an important it's an important factor in a relationship. The good, the bad, the past, their future, and really being honest with yourself about, is this person for you? I find a lot in dating, in my experiences with women, is, and I only speak to this because I'm not a man, a lot of women get an idea of what they want their partner to be. And then they'll find someone and they'll try and squish that person into that idea because they have a couple things that they like, but not the core. And then they are also simultaneously ignoring the things that are dangerous for what their long-term goals are. And then that cycle kind of repeats itself rather than actually looking for the person that has the values that you want. And checking boxes is something that I just fucking hate in relationships. Like, as soon as someone starts saying that, I'm like, all right, good luck to you. Especially if the boxes that you're looking to check are material things, or how tall someone is, or how much money they make, or what kind of career they have, or, you know, just things that are just really irrelevant. Is this person kind? Is this person intelligent, if intelligence matters to you? Is this person loving? Is this person loyal? You know, the things that are the foundation of anyone that you'd want to have in your life.
So money's not a thing for you?
Passion and career is a thing for me because I'm almost 40 years old. So I wouldn't be dating someone who, I can't date someone who's not passionate about what it is they do every day.
What if they're an elementary school teacher and they're passionate about that?
Are they a full-time elementary school teacher? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking about this earlier, so we were going to avoid
curious.
this. No, because I get asked this all the time, and I actually had this conversation with my friend this weekend, and it's a conversation that comes up with successful women a lot. And we have this conversation, we're just not very nice about it. So I'll give it the more PG version of it.
Okay.
Not that that's what we do around here, but I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. It's not about dating a normal guy. I'm not a normal person. I'm an extreme outlier of a person in almost every way that you can be. And I don't say that from an arrogant perspective. There's very negative things that have happened to me as well. And all of those things form the universe that is joy. So I don't know what a normal person is, but let's say somebody who has a teaching job, for example. Why would I not be with a teacher? If we're talking about money, my life is fine. I don't rely on anyone else to pay my bills, to maintain the lifestyle that I have. If I want to go and pop out to Cabo for the weekend, I can do that. If that's not something that you can do every weekend, then you just don't come with me. That's fine. Now, if you have a problem with that, as I would assume that most people would, because that is a big jump in lifestyle, then yeah, we probably aren't on equal footing to be in a long-term relationship. But what someone's job is, as far as like making millions of dollars or being front facing or any of those things, does have no consequence to me. I want someone who is interesting, who is passionate, who believes in what they do every day. Because I do think what you do every day, even if it's not something that you're like long-term want to do, you need to find joy in that. You need to find some passion in what it is that you do. And also, like I said, I'm almost 40. I'm not dating a 23-year-old who's on their life journey.
Right.
I love that for them. But the YNs are not for me. Sorry, guys. Like, I'm just in a different place in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I live a different way. And I think for a lot of successful women, so we'll just have that conversation, in a different tax bracket type of women, because success is also a word that people throw around that is irrelevant. If you have achieved what you want to achieve in life, you are a successful person. That doesn't, the amount of money that is attached to that is irrelevant to me when I'm talking about success. So let's talk about like higher earning women or higher educated women, and that's the conversation. I think putting money as the top thing in your your checklist is a very silly thing to do.
I agree. What would Joy leave a man for?
Oh Lord, we don't have enough time. We've been here too long.
Everything?
We don't have enough time for that. Yeah, I would leave a man for a lot of things. I would. I wouldn't leave my husband for a lot of things, but I don't have a husband. But I would leave a man for many things.
That's fair. What would you leave a husband for?
Well, certainly I would leave a husband for making me unsafe, for putting, like you said, for putting me in a situation where I'm unsafe, and in whatever normal, rational version that is. I think habitual infidelity would be something. I wouldn't say
habitual is crazy for sure.
Well, that's who you are. if it's habitual, I do think I would have a conversation about what infidelity looks like. Because I do think that looks different for a lot of different people. So if it was something harmful or something egregious, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a good person to ask this question, honestly, Marcus, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to be, yeah. At this point in my life.
Are you a safe place, Joy?
I'm a very safe place.
Okay.
I am. I am someone who loves to talk, and I have dealt with a lot of trauma in my life. I really try to meet people where they are, and one of my biggest curses in life is looking for the common ground in people, because it's a gift and a curse. It's something I enjoy connecting with people, but I also then immediately start to overlook the things that I shouldn't be overlooking. So yeah, but what does being safe mean to you, though?
So, for example, right, my wife is like very, very safe, right?
She lets you cry in front of her. She lets you speak your truth. She doesn't throw things in your face. She allows you to be vulnerable. Those type of things.
Right on the money.
Okay.
I've never told my wife something, and she used it against me. Not once, ever, as safety.
You know what? We could not agree more. It is one of my absolute unequivocal hard lines in life.
Yeah.
If I tell you something, even the smallest thing, and I share it with you, and you use that to harm me, this is why I can't have a gun.
You really are violent.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It puts me in such a ferocious state of mind, because I think it's something that happens in a lot of relationships. It certainly happens in business, which is why if you're a business person, you learn very early what to share, when to share it, how to share it. Yeah. It's a whole game that you have to navigate, no matter what business you're in: music, television, real estate, whatever. Like that notion of who and what and when and where to share information is a baseline for business. For sure. For relationships, I mean, you're talking about family, like that principle that you're talking about, I think is the core base of trust in a relationship.
Yeah, people aren't safe. Men aren't safe either. It's like men, women, people aren't safe. You know, people aren't safe places. But it's crazy because everybody desires safety, right? But, you know I hear people say all the time, "Oh, my girl, that's my best friend," or, my guy, that's my best friend. But it be cap. Like, they really just be talking, right? Because if I can't talk to my wife about everything that I talk to my actual guy best friends about, then are you actually my best friend?
So you tell your wife everything?
I talk to my wife about everything within reason. I don't talk to her about anyone else's business, right? So if
what, y'all don't share tea?
No, that's
we gotta share tea.
Nah, we can't do because
tea, not like business. Tea is different than business.
No, so what we'll do is, like, we have a lot of mutual friends. So like, if she'll know something going, be like, man, he'll holler at you, or she'll holler at you, ask him.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's like a primary reason why we stopped the going through phone thing a long time ago. Like, that's part of safety. But I don't want to look at her phone because.
So you don't go through her phone?
Nah, hell no. No.
You asked me something I would leave a man for?
What's that?
If he went through my phone. No questions asked.
So
I'm not living that life.
Yeah. So for me, I can use my wife's phone if I need it, and
Yeah.
she can use my phone. My thing is, if you ever use my phone to try to find out something about me, we have a problem because it's an intimacy killer. Like you just because I actually want I want you to know whatever you want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like just come ask me, come holler at me about it.
At what point in the relationship does this rule apply? Because you know, I agree with you. Like dating is different than married.
Man, if I'm dating,
period,
you don't get a passcode, you don't get a location, you don't get too much. No, dating is me trying to figure. I'm still trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to decide if I even want to make this decision to sit down with you. I haven't decided yet. But the moment that we are committed, the moment that my decisions affect you and your decisions affect me, then there needs to be transparency. I need to be able to see for us, you know what I'm saying, to protect myself, to protect you, and vice versa. So my wife can use my phone whenever she needs to.
But there's a bridge period, right? There's like the dating, and then you're in a committed, serious relationship. Let's call it even engaged. And you haven't walked down the aisle. Where does the transparency thing come into play?
There's no aisle. There's no aisle for me in my mind, right? Like that.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. That's a figure of speech. I'm saying like then there's married. So
I
like
don't believe in there's a bridge. I think there's a runway.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So
what happens on the runway?
Well, we pull out of the gate.
Okay.
Okay. Then we taxi to the runway.
Right.
Right. So
but flights have been canceled while they're still on the runway.
That's good.
I agree. I don't want to go up in the plane either.
Okay.
If it's not right.
Right. So if the flight is canceled while we're on the runway, we go back to the gate.
And then we get off. We get our backs off. Okay, but what I'm saying is, in this runway analogy, we're talking about, let's have the transparency conversation, right? Because that really is what the phone conversation is. I am like I'm a psychopath about transparency. I don't really wade in the transparency waters. I've had some really bad experiences with the whole transparency culture thing. Mostly because the people who were asking me for transparency were not good people. And they used it against me. And I have traumas because of that. And I have no problem saying that. Like it is one of my biggest challenges in relationships is being open and transparent, because I have to drop a little seed in the, just drop of water in the bucket and see how you handle things before I give you the whole bit.
Yeah.
But you can't really get, the plane really can't take off entirely until you get past that. Like you have to know someone really.
Right. And that's when we take off. But that's what, so when I first meet you and I decide that, you know what, I like this person. I meet Joy, you know what, Joy, it's good to me. You seem like a decent person. I want to get to know you.
Right. So you booked the flight.
I booked the flight. Flight's booked, right? And I get on the flight immediately, right? So now we're taxiing, right? We're backing this thing out. The back out is slow.
Okay.
No, we back out. The back out is slow, right? We're backing out, right? You got the people on the side that are waving the things, right? Let's just say those are red flags.
Right.
Or green flags.
They have both.
Cool.
Actually, I think they're like orange, but
sure. So you're paying attention to the signs. You're looking out the window. You're like, okay, this is, I'm not crazy about that. Let's see if we get these further down the runway, right? Or maybe that was like a mishap. We're just paying attention. So we're backing out. Then we're cleared to start taxiing to the runway. So this is just dating. This is me getting to see who you are and giving you time and space to walk it like you talk it. Like, I hear what you're saying, but one thing you're not gonna talk me to death. So
you want to see action with words. Yeah, I mean, I'm a consistency person. Like one of the most important things to me in any interpersonal relationship, business, anything is consistency, because it's very easy. Well, one, I think one of my vulnerabilities is words of affirmation. So you can talk me and send some shit. So I have forced myself to grow in the area of, great, you've said a lot of nice things. I like how this sounds. Let's see if your actions consistently for a period of time match what you're saying.
That's taxiing.
Yeah. Okay.
We're taxiing into the runway.
Yeah.
Now, once we get to the runway, there's no in between here, right?
Right.
A
We're
dec-
either taking off or we're going back to the game.
A decision has to be made,
Mhm.
right? There's no such thing as taking off and changing our mind.
Right.
Once wheels leave the ground, the wheels are on the ground.
Well, because you feel safe now. You feel
Right.
like it's safe to take off.
But there's a decision though,
hmm
right? Like you don't accidentally take off,
No.
right? You have to intentionally take off. So once you intentionally take off, you've checked everything, right? The pilot is literally they checking all the lights, they check the brakes, they checked everything's
This
checked.
could be the title of your next book.
It might be
The takeoff.
the takeoff.
I'll take 2%.
That's fine.
Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But it takes full intentionality to get to that point, right? So once you take off, it's like, okay, cool.
Intentionality
What are we landing for now?
is something that is very applicable. How do you preach this to the men in your life?
Which
Like, how do you hold this philosophy that you have, the bulletproof love philosophy, the intentionality, the safe spaces? Like, do you encourage the men in your life to provide this to women?
Yeah, I mean, I encourage my guys to stay single until you know what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a huge misconception that we have to be in relationships. Like, you don't have to get married. You don't have to be in a committed relationship, man or woman. You don't have to,
Mm-hmm.
right? So once you choose to do this, there's a way this works. You know what I mean? Like, most men understand going to work, right? So if you go to work and you have a job, you have to do your job regardless of what other employees are doing, regardless of how your boss spoke to you today, regardless of what customer came into that store and rubbed you the wrong way. We're doing our job no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, all this back and forth, all the matching energy, all the when you sign up to do something intentionally, this is what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna sit down, we're gonna do this. And I encourage men to just stand on that, because largely I believe that we set the pace. You know what I mean? Like, as the foundation of our homes and as the leaders of our home. Like, I tell you 100%, like, everything at my crib is a reflection of me. If me and my wife are in a great space, if my house is in harmony, if everything's landing, that's because of me. And when things are off, that's because of me also. You know what I mean? I saw this quote from Allen Iverson. He had said one time, he was like, "Man, I'm the leader. I'm the captain of this team. If we win, it's because of me, and if we lose, it's because of me." And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So, and there's fine print to that, right? But even the fine print points back to intentionality, right? Because if you choose the wrong person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then that's gonna backfire on you all the time, right? You can choose a crash out. You can choose somebody who just who just has a desire to sabotage everything, but you still chose them. You chose that person.
So it's your responsibility.
Yeah, and I hate hearing men and women, anybody. I hate hearing people whining and complaining about decisions they made. You chose her. You chose him. You chose to let him get you pregnant. You chose to put a baby in her. These is y'all decisions. Nobody made y'all do nothing. Like, no one ever you'll never hear me complaining about past relationships. Or I've made every decision I made. Nobody can make Marcus do nothing. I did what I wanted to do.
Do you think that the space that we're in, let's call it the gender war, which is a whole other conversation, but the space that we're in with how men relate to women, how women relate to men, do you think that is a societal issue? Like, where do you stand on what the current state is? Like, where is it all coming from?
It's one of those does art imitate life, or does life imitate art type things, right?
Okay.
Or what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's both. Like, it goes together, right? Like, social media is mirroring what's going on in real life, but then social media is actually instigating, you know what I mean? And adding things or creating narratives based off of a singular experiences. I remember one time, I don't know if you remember this. It was a post, and it became a conversation. It was like something about like women niggas was mad because women don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory or something like that. You remember the Cheesecake Factory conversation?
Yeah, I got called a pick me over that. I'm sorry you bitches don't like Cheesecake Factory.
But
That's your fault.
But truthfully,
you've just not had enough Cheesecake Factory, I guess.
I just never met a woman that was like, yeah, I'm not going to Cheesecake Factory.
Of course you haven't, because it's fucking an internet conversation. It's stupid.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. One man dealt with a woman who said, I'm not going to Cheesecake Factory. He brought the narrative to the internet, and now men hate women because women don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory.
It was such a fun conversation.
I hated it.
I had a great time because I really love Cheesecake Factory. I get the white chicken chili.
White chicken chili fire.
And I really like the chicken piccata, but it's got to be on a leftovers night. Like, I got to know I'm going to eat it tomorrow for leftovers because it's so much food. It's like 4 pieces of chicken. And then the Southwest egg rolls.
Southwest egg rolls, platinum.
And the strawberry lemonade. I know the brown bread is fine. I'm not a big bread person.
The brown bread is incredible.
It is, but I was not a big bread person. But the pushback on the Cheesecake Factory thing is, to your point, it's one person. It's an outlier, stupid fucking thing. But men don't take me to Cheesecake Factory. I mean, let's be serious.
What?
That's why everyone was mad at me. Even my girlfriends were like, why are you on the internet talking about Cheesecake Factory?
Because no one's taking you
to Cheesecake Factory. But that's not fair. I live in LA.
Mm.
There's a million great restaurants in the price point of Cheesecake Factory that are like mom and pop.
Yeah.
They're like legendary restaurants, so you could go like real creative.
Yeah,
like there's certain places in the country where Cheesecake Factory is the restaurant.
That's what they have there. Like, that's kind of
And it's not fucking cheap.
Right.
2 people at Cheesecake Factory is running you what? $75 maybe?
But niggas was mad. See? These bitches don't even want to go to Cheesecake Factory. You like, fam, that's not real. Yes,
it's not
niggas
real.
Be mad. Niggas be really, really, really mad. And they have the right to, I guess, because they believe the narrative. So
but coming from a male's perspective, what is the issue that men have with dating right now? Because I can give you my perspective, which is colored in a million different ways, from my own experiences, from where I am in life, from the girlfriends that I have. So what is your perspective on it? Like if you were to hold just men accountable, take women out of it for a second. If you were to hold men accountable and you were to give them advice, like, we have this loneliness epidemic, okay? People are struggling to relate to each other. Here you are, a man who has gone through different things. You've made a mistake, or I don't know if you've made. I don't know if you consider it a mistake or not. But like, you've been divorced, right? You were in a public relationship. You are in a public relationship, but you publicly made mistakes that harmed your partner in some way. So much so that TSA is still mad at you. And here you are.
You're not safe.
I'm not safe.
You see how you just brought some up?
I
told you that earlier.
The table. I'm just setting the table, okay? And we didn't make that agreement, okay?
That hurt though.
This is a safe space.
All right.
I'm not throwing it in your face. I'm only repeating the facts. And I'm not judging you for it, by the way, also.
You're gaslighting me now.
I'm genuinely not judging you. I'm in no position to judge anyone.
Okay.
This is your life, right? So a man can look at you and say, I've made those mistakes or similar mistakes. I see myself in him. I want to be a happily married man, as Marcus says that he is, with his beautiful wife and family. What do I need to do that I'm doing wrong? Like, there are men who say they want these things, who are not taking the right steps to accountability, because you feel like you've been accountable to yourself and to your partner.
100%.
So what would you say to them?
Learn how to die.
Oh, okay. What is die like? How?
It's a long road, but you have to wake up every single morning, and you have to choose to die to yourself. You have to choose to die to your ego. You got to choose to die to your pride. You got to choose to die to your fleshly desires that no one really understands, and society tells you that you're evil for even having these desires that you never asked for, right? Die to that. Be ready to sacrifice everything for this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, marriage only works in first place. If you want to be married, you have to be ready to make your woman number one. You know what I'm saying? Like, only thing that should go above your wife is your purpose. What God and what He sent you here to do. Outside of that, should nothing go in front of that. And if you're not ready for that, which is okay, because you don't have to put a woman first, just don't get married.
You know,
but it's a death. Like, it's such a, like, literally, if you get married at like 25, 30 years old, in 10 years, your testosterone is gonna if you're actually like doing it the right way, like you're actually dying to yourself, you're actually not out here with other women, your testosterone is gonna be on the floor by 40, 42. Gonna be on the floor. You're gonna have to starting to go get. You're gonna have to go get like testosterone like replacement shots and stuff like that.
Wait. So you're saying you're gonna lose testosterone by getting married early?
So everything that gives you everything that you need to hunt, right? Everything that you need that God gives you, right? Like people act like sex drive is a bad thing. Sex drive is a phenomenal thing, right? If I'm in the gym working out, right? I just did 3 sets. Ugh, I'm tired. It's the last workout. We did bench press last, right? Okay. And I'm exhausted. Let something pretty walk by that smell good and watch me have an extra burst, right? Now, the issue is that we have not learned what to do with that energy. You know what I mean? Most successful men have beautiful assistants, secretaries around. Women are inspiring. You guys are beautiful. You smell good. You look good. Y'all soft. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn how to smell the perfume and not drink the perfume. Because
drinking perfume is very bad for you.
Yeah, women can be very bad for you if you don't just appreciate and move around.
Okay, that was a lot. Let me think where I want to tap back in. Okay, I do agree with you that there is an ego. It's a sacrifice of ego. Being in a committed long-term relationship is compromise, constant compromise. You want to go to Cheesecake Factory, she wants to go to Baltair. You can afford both. This is going to make her happy. You're going to go to Baltair tonight.
We're going to Baltair.
Right. That's compromise. You really wanted those Southwest egg rolls. You're not getting them tonight. Small compromises, big compromises. It's about giving yourself to another person. And if you are if you are still in that state where ego is the main thing driving you, marriage probably isn't for you at this point. It really, if you want a successful marriage, if you want to check a box, then yeah, you can do that. But I would agree with that. When it comes to the sex drive conversation, I'm curious. I have my own journey with my sex drive, and I'm a woman, so our journeys are totally different than men. From a scientific standpoint, obviously, I am not a doctor of that sort. I do have a doctorate from Barry University, though, so don't get fucked up. I'm not a medical doctor.
Okay.
Let's just skip that part. Men have a sex drive as younger men than women do. And then it sort of switches. As women get older, they reach their sexual peak. We've all agreed on that up to this point on the limited research that we have on women's bodies. So how do you teach young men? Because let's talk about young men. How do you teach young men to have that kind of resolve and principle and self-control?
You have to teach them the benefit of it, right? Of keeping themselves, right? When you lay down with a woman, when you have sex, you bust a nut, you're not energized. You're actually tired. You lose energy, right? So it's like
post nut clarity.
Well, you just
I don't know what that is. It's a thing I heard that Drake said it.
No, post nut clarity is the idea of like, how Wayne said in the song, but as soon as I come to my senses. You know what I'm saying? It's like you lay down with a woman, you had a good time, and after you finish, it's like, I shouldn't have did that. Like I don't even like her. That's what they're talking about.
And does that, from a woman's perspective, that can take a lot out of you, because there are a lot of societal pressures and implications, and some people might have religious guilt and all those things to sex. What is that experience for men?
What experience? The post nut clarity?
No, like if you're being with someone who, because I've seen you talk about sex on your show or in interviews, and I think for a lot of people, and these are conversations I have with my girlfriends all the time, that you should determine what sex is to you, and I think women have that conversation at a much younger age than men do, because societally, men are encouraged to have a lot of sex. They're encouraged to sow their oats, so to speak. And women are shamed for doing similar things. If they come from a religious background, there's a whole other thing they're saddled with when it comes to their relationship with their body. And women have sex drives too. Like young women want to have sex. It's not at the level or the intensity or ferocity that young men do, but like people are fucking, so somebody wants to have sex. Like these are mutual agreed upon activities. From a woman's perspective, it takes some time for me as a young woman to decide how, when, where, and what your relationship is with sex. Do young men have those conversations?
No, absolutely not. They're not being had at all. No one's having these conversations with us. And that's the issue, right? But I think that we need to be taught to value ourselves too. You know what I mean? And it really comes down to like why for everything. You know what I mean? Like, what are you actually even doing it for? Like, what's the goal, right? And I think a man's primary responsibility should be his purpose, and you should use your energy to pursue your gifts and what God has given you to do on this earth. The thing about sex, there's no such thing as casual sex. I don't believe it exists because I don't think it's anything. I mean, the term exists, but I don't think there's anything casual about it, right? Sex is for bonding, and then procreating and recreation with somebody that you're bonded to, right? Bonding, I'm not saying that casually. I mean literally two things coming together.
So you've never had sex with someone that you were like, that was a sexual experience and we're both going our separate ways?
100% I have, but I still felt I felt more than I wanted to feel. You know what I'm saying? Like when you begin to do that, you're starting this cleaving, this bonding process, right? And so when you do that, and I'm speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for all men, but I've never been intimate with a woman and felt nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying I felt this desire, I'm in love now, but I definitely felt more on, and most of them might cross my mind to this day. I wonder such and such. Like that, you can't just, I can't just get them. They're not just out your system forever. You know what I'm saying? There's certain people that.
Well, it sounds like you value women.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. That's
the conclusion you came to from that though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are certainly men who I've had conversations with who say at least that they can have sex with a woman and have no emotional connection of any sort, let alone a psychological or spiritual connection with
Niggas
someone.
Be lying a lot though, and
okay, like I agree, but again, I am not a man, so I'm not going to speak. I'll speak on my experiences with men or conversations, but I have not been a man and have not transitioned. So, are they lying?
I'm not all men, you know what I'm saying, but most men be lying because it's not cool to say that I'm thinking about her. It's not cool to say that I miss her. It's not cool to say that I have feelings for a woman.
Why is it not cool though?
Society doesn't make it cool. You know what I mean? Like,
does society not make it cool, or do men not make it cool? Because
are men not a part of society?
Yes, of course they are.
Because we're about to hit a whole different street.
A very important part of society. Okay. We love you.
All right.
But
I feel like you don't. I feel like men aren't part of society. Do you?
So men are a very important part of society. I wish nothing more than for men to, as a whole, fulfill their purpose in society.
Okay.
To be protectors, to be providers, to be safe spaces for everyone, women and children, and also other men. Very much so.
I think it was good that we put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if people think I hate men, they're just fucking stupid. I spend most of my time around men. Like, I have wonderful relationships with men. I just hold men to the same standard that I hold women, which is very fucking high. And
that's fair.
And often, and unfortunately, I would say in today's day, more often than not, they are failing society. Men are failing society. That is what I feel. They are.
Everyone's thinking this shit up right now.
What?
Everyone is thinking though. Like
Everyone's thinking?
yeah, men and women. Like women are.
Yeah, but women do not have the power. They're not in power to make at the level that men are to make the legislation that is thinking up society. They are not.
I won't even go down that street with you.
What?
Once
Okay.
you start talking about legislative and judicial.
Well, politics control everything that we do, and look, again, we don't have enough time to get into all of this. So let's just speak in the abstracts
Okay.
for a moment, if you'll allow me.
Mhm.
I believe in family.
Okay, that's good.
I do not want to have my own children,
Mhm.
but I am a part of a very large family that I love very much. I believe in chosen family. My friends are kind of like my family to me.
Mhm.
I have people in my life that are like sisters that are not blood related to me. I have my best friend's father. I don't have a father in my life, so he's sort of like my father. Like I'm a family person.
Mhm.
I like to have that kind of energy around me, and I think that part of a really healing part of society would be safe places for the whole family,
Mhm.
including men.
Mhm.
But if we live in a patriarchal society, which we do,
Mhm.
where men have largely designed the system, have made the rules, have made the laws, have most of the power and control and money, and have largely gotten away with a lot of atrocities and still are, I have to skew the scales
Mhm.
to hold men responsible for that, and to hold men who, like you, are trying to heal these gaping, oozing wounds
Mhm.
in our community
Mhm.
to the standard of that as well. Of course there are women who are fucking up. Of course there are women who are not living by the moral standards that they claim to be putting out into the world. Of course there are women who could be better wives and better mothers and better sisters and have more integrity. Of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's really, it's a hard time right now. And speaking from a woman's perspective, I want men to be as angry as women are about the state of the world for women and for children. And I don't know that.
You want men
You
to
are.
be as angry
Yeah, I'm enraged.
about what?
I'm enraged about the level of abuse that we have seen of children and women. I'm enraged at the fact that it's not safe statistically for Black women to go to the hospital and have children.
It's insane.
I'm enraged at the murders, the domestic violence numbers. I'm enraged at the continuing acceptance of violence in our communities that is mostly perpetrated by young men. I'm enraged that while there is certainly a groundswell, the societal design for men, which we've talked about a lot, does not create a safe space for young men to grow up and be in touch with their emotions, to be safe to say, I miss this girl, to be safe to say, I don't want to chase girls. I want to follow my dream of going to MIT. Like, the world isn't safe for young men because of patriarchy.
Mhm.
The whole system is designed to keep everybody down.
Mhm.
But because men have been trained and brought up that violence is okay, that burying your feelings is okay, that some level of mistreating women is okay, it is permeated throughout everything that we do and say.
I agree, and I'm
Okay,
pissed.
good. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm pissed, by the way. I'm pretty much everything that I heard you say. I'm pretty much upset about all those things also, which is why I do what I do. Because I want to see the families in our community whole again. When I came up, we had certain things that gave us hope, right? Like, we had Cosby Show, we had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we had what's the Winslows, Family Matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was certain things that allowed us to see, this is how it goes. There's nothing today. And we're in a very dangerous place because I think most of us don't even desire it. And that's what makes it so dangerous. We don't even desire healthy relationships. We don't desire.
Well, I think for some people, it's safer to not be in a relationship. And if you haven't done the work to find ways to pick healthy relationships, then it is actually safer to be alone.
But the thing is, people are saying they're alone while being in relationships, and that's where it gets dangerous. Because people are saying people think because they're not walking down the aisle and putting rings on, and I didn't say I do, that you didn't do with your actions. You did, and now you're in it. But that's another story.
I feel like we could do a couple more hours on a bunch of different things. I'm interested in the politics conversation.
I hate it.
Obviously, I feel like we would disagree on that.
No, I wouldn't. We don't even have to go down that street.
No,
I wouldn't disagree. My perspective is this.
Okay.
In short, I've been a black male my whole life. I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 this year. And I haven't seen one president help my walk. I haven't seen not one person that was in any office benefit me in any way. So I focus on what I can control. I don't even dive into the politic thing because I think it's all one big game that is being played by the elites. I just don't participate in it. In the conversation, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't go. We don't have enough time for that. I don't completely agree, but I appreciate your
You don't agree that I've
perspective.
been black my whole life?
No. You've definitely been black since birth.
You don't agree that I've been.
We not.
You don't agree that nobody's helped me? No one's benefited me.
I don't disagree with that either.
Are you telling me about my struggle, Joy?
I'm absolutely not. Your journey and your walk is protected. This is a safe space. I am not.
Because you already threw some. You already threw something that I told you earlier.
I did not throw it in your face.
And then you gaslit me after that.
We are look.
And I didn't appreciate it.
We don't use medical terms out of context. Okay, I was not gaslighting you. I really appreciate you being open and honest, and kind of honest.
Yeah. Next time.
And sharing your story. No, I really do. I do. I appreciate you coming in and you were very honest and very very vulnerable about a lot of things. And I genuinely, like, all jokes aside, I think that safety is very important. It's one of the most important things to me in any relationship. If I do not feel safe, I'm out. And I think that women providing safe spaces for men is important. I think that helps with growth, to allow people to be themselves, to be vulnerable, to express themselves, and that's an important part of life and relationships. So, to end it on a nice
good note,
a nice clear note.
Yeah, I'd love to do this again.
Yes, for sure. I really appreciate you coming down. Marcus Black, everyone, and make sure you follow him on social media. So I've had to do this with every guest so far, so I'm going listen slowly. All right, at MVRCUS. BLVCK. They don't be listening. So make sure you go and follow him. Tune into his podcast, Two Sides of the Game, and his ebook, Bulletproof Love, is also available now. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for making the not too far journey.
20 minutes.
Yeah, it's good. Everything in LA is 20 minutes.
Everything's 20 minutes. Well, I mean, it's easily an hour with traffic. What time is
That's
it?
such an LA joke. Very, very good. Thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you.